Right, this is Mark chapter 5 and verses 1 to 8. They came to the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gerasenes. When he got out of the boat, immediately a man from the tombs with an unclean spirit met him, and he had his dwelling among the tombs. And no one was able to bind him any more, even with a chain, because he had often been bound with shackles and chains, and the chains had been torn apart by him, and the shackles broken in pieces, and no one was strong enough to subdue him. Constantly, night and day, he was screaming among the tombs and in the mountains and gashing himself with stones. Seeing Jesus from a distance, he ran up and bowed down before him, and shouting with a loud voice, he said, "What business do we have with each other, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I implore you by God, do not torment me." For he had been saying to him, "Come out of the man, you unclean spirit." The disciples had just seen the Lord Jesus have power over the elements. And perhaps they were thinking, well, what on earth will happen next? They were in fear of him. And they arrive on the other side of the sea, as Jesus had said they would. Jesus gets out of the boat, and immediately this fearsome, ferocious man, so strong that even iron chains couldn't hold him, comes running out at them and shouting. I'm not a particularly brave person in these circumstances, and I'd have thought, well, can't we just get in the boat quickly and go back to Capernaum, where it was a lot easier, and we were we were celebrities, we were successful. Here we are in no man's land, and we're faced with this man with colossal strength and fierce. He had broken chains, and it says that his strength was getting stronger. It said chains couldn't hold him anymore. So chains could hold him in the past, but he got stronger and more fierce. But it seems the Lord Jesus, he's not perturbed at all. He just deals with the situation. And I think perhaps in Mark's gospel, when Jesus was in the wilderness being tempted by the devil, it says there that it's just a throwaway comment, and he was there with the wild beasts. And in the private place, the Lord Jesus had overcome the power of the enemy, so that in the public place he could face off this demonic power, which was stronger than any man. It reminds me of King David, or David, in one of his first instances that we see him, where he defeats his man mountain Goliath. And he says that the Lord, that he had faced lions and bears, and in the name of the Lord had helped him, and he had overcome the lions and the bears, and Goliath will be just like one of them. He faced them in the private place, and in the public place, in front of all the armies of Israel and all the armies of the Philistines, he was able to slay Goliath. And here's the Lord Jesus, who had overcome the power of the enemy in the private place, in the wilderness. Here he could stand in front of this man who could give a good hiding to any of those disciples who were in the boat, who'd come out of the boat with the Lord Jesus. And the Lord Jesus just stands in front of him. And the man comes, and it says that he bows down. In my version, the New American Standard, it says he bowed down. In other versions, it says he came on his knees. And that's the right approach for anybody. Perhaps this was the will of the man. He came down. What have you got to do with us, Son of God? And he comes bowing down. And we see this as you go through this wonderful chapter 5. You see people just coming and begging Jesus to come and work in their lives on their knees. And that's how we should approach the Lord, on our knees. And he is ready to help us in our time of need.